biggest steps I made in my journey as a full-time creative professional is when I stopped treating my services as simply being paid for my talent and started treating it more like an actual business. This meant approaching clients and projects with profitability in mind so that I could expand my creative process and serve my clients that much greater. If you clicked on this video, I'm positive that you're looking for ways to make more money doing the things you're passionate about as a creative. And in this video right here, we're going to focus on how you can continue to build profitability in your business so that you have longevity in your creative career. Internet, welcome back again. It's your boy Robert Teegarden here today with another video. Today we are talking about intermediate pricing structures and structuring deals with profitability. If you're new here, welcome. I post content on filmmaking tips and the business of being a creative. So if that's something that you're into, stick around. I'm sure that there's going to be value that you'll receive from this video. My story where profitability and larger deal structures are concerned starts with kind of a funny story. It was a friend of mine had called from a graduate program that I was in, and he worked at Ticketmaster. And at this time, I had kind of slightly veered away from my music industry background that I had worked in for the past 15 years, and I started working as a video professional. And this person called and said, I have a job for you. It's working for us as Ticketmaster and a verified fan program, doing content for Taylor Swift's verified fan program. So I paced back and forth in my room trying to figure out what was the appropriate amount of money to send for myself and an assistant to show up on set and edit 2 different videos that would cut down this idea that they needed for a case study inside of their B2B business. I sent over the bid and immediately they came back affirming that price, and I went, fuck! Because I knew at that very moment that there was more gas in the tank where that amount of money that they would pay for this video was concerned. And it set me down this spiral trying to figure out how do you price your services and build a business that would actually pay you, not only from a lifestyle perspective, but to build a company that could actually have impact and scale and become profitable and give you the lifestyle that you're looking for as the professional creative that you're aspiring to be. Now, again, if you haven't taken a look at my beginning pricing structure video, it's not necessary for this particular video, but if you want to, I think it's probably beneficial if you pause this video, open a new tab, watch the video that you're seeing up here so that you can understand exactly how I kind of got to this infrastructure. Only for this one, I want to explore what it looks like for you to create a much larger scale and scope and how you could price these things to be profitable for your particular business. First, I think it's important for us to all get on the same page and really have a working definition of what profit is. I know most of us have an understanding of it, but I think it's safe that we kind of put a baseline understanding of what that is. So really, the profit is the difference between the amount earned and the amount spent in buying, operating, or producing a product. I think most of us are kind of familiar with the concept of a day rate. And really, if you're a creative service freelancer where you do, colorist, or you're a DP or an editor, you have a rate that you charge for your services for the day to a particular client. And if that's really where you want to stay for the rest of your life, that's completely fine. You got no beef from me. But you actually have a lot more headroom to earn if you start treating your services like a creative agency or a production company, because there's a lot of meat left on the bone for you to be able to serve the client in a greater capacity. Now, so to put this kind of simply, your profit is what is left over after all of the freelancers and expenses have been paid to produce that particular creative product. Now, just for the sake of clarity and to kind of over-explain this, when you put a bid together and you are the freelance contractor or you're working with the smaller crew, you're still going to get paid for the job and or service that you produce. If you're a DP, you're an editor, you're a colorist, you're a motion graphic designer, you're all things, maybe you're all in one, you still get paid for those particular services, but that is the job that is being contracted for you to do. The business itself has an extra margin on top of that so that you can expand and grow, create better client services and better client experiences. And the business itself and the owners and or shareholders can earn money or get their investment back from the operating of the business. I think this becomes more clear when we start to contrast this with this particular example. let's just say that you are responsible for putting together a particular project and you act in more of a producer capacity. Your business takes on this particular client, you hire out all of the freelancers, the DP, the lighting tech, the gaffer, the audio person, you hire the colorist, the editor, all these different people. And if you have no profit margin built into that particular deal, you are effectively working for free as the person who's putting this particular package together. All of the contractors and freelancers get paid, but you specifically don't make any money off of that particular deal because you didn't bake in any profit for the business to eat as well. And that is the important defining factor of what we're talking about today. And I think the biggest struggle and arc for creatives, freelance creatives, to get over. How could I possibly ask for more money on top of the job that I'm simply doing? But here's the key. Your clients, and I'll say this again, want you to be profitable and they want your business to be successful because ultimately that is what's going to provide them with the best possible experience that they can have. Sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to say real quick, if you're liking this video, it would mean the world to me and help me get this content out to more people if you would hit that like button and leave a comment. In fact, I'm going to tell you the comment I would love for you to leave, and that's to tell me what is your big, hairy, audacious goal for a client invoice that you're dying to send this year. I'll even tell you mine. I'm trying to break a 6-figure invoice for client work this year. So what is yours? Is it 5,000? Is it 10,000? 15,000 bucks? Leave a note in the comments down below and let's have a conversation on how we can get there together. So great, we have this understanding of what profitability is. Now let's talk about how do we actually achieve something like that. Now remember, our working definition is the difference between the cost of creating that product and the total invoice that you're going to receive. And so the typical margin that we see in creative industries is between 10 to 25%. Sometimes I've seen profit margins all the way up to 30. Now there is no hard and fast rule here. And if you can figure out a way of being incredibly profitable in a particular deal while reducing your cost, kudos to you. I'm going to give you a high five all day long. But the working profitability margin that everyone is kind of knowing and understanding is about 20%. Now, how do you achieve this? It's very simple. As you're creating your bid, you're adding in all of your fixed costs and the things that you need to create that particular project, all of the personnel between the PAs and the DPs and the editors and the colorists and the producer. You're going to have all of your fixed costs like location and talent and all those different things as line items in the budget. And you simply at the end add all those costs up and add 20% margin on it. You like times 0.20 and you add that as a line item to your particular budget. And that's really as simple as it gets. Now, there are other tools that I'll talk to you about in just a second in terms of how you can continue to add those line items up as you're moving along, and they're incredibly effective and very easy for you to use. But that is really the baseline principle of how we add profitability on this thing. Now, again, is this greed? No, and we can't really think about this as being greedy. This is not a matter of you just simply trying to line your pockets with more money. What does profitability actually give you? It's not just the ability to make more money, it's actually the ability to provide a better customer experience along the way. With profitability, you can actually take less clients, spend more time on that particular client and serve them even greater because you're not constantly searching for the smaller clients to pay your bills so that you can eat. It's a very easy to understand concept. The more money I have, the more ability I have to focus on this particular project, and that particular client is going to be that much more content and happy with your product and service because you have the ability to not be scrounging around for a significant amount of cash. With that cash, you can start to invest in things like better gear, better systems. You have better ability to have consulting and coaching and personal development, all things that go back into your business so that you can create a better client experience. This last thing that we should be thinking about is like the vacation I could take or the extra money I could have or all these different things. Profitability allows the business to sustain itself so that it can provide a better customer experience, which would then be a snowball effect because the better your customer experience is, the more they're going to talk about it, the bigger clients that you can continue to operate on, more profitability, etc., 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 etc. You get the point. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it's not necessarily greed. Your clients, like I mentioned earlier, want you to be successful. And part of having a successful business is operating in a profit, not at a loss. So what are the tools that I use to do this? I think the industry standard, or at least the one that I've used the most, is a product called Hot Budget, which is really just like a bolstered up Excel sheet. It's not cheap, it's $100, but if this is something that you're doing and you have significant productions that require a bunch of different things, craft services, editorial, production, all those sorts of things, it is a very robust spreadsheet with different tabs that are auto summing on a particular page, and you can control what those margins are for each individual section. It's a great tool, like I mentioned. I'll put a link of it down below. It's not an affiliate link. It's just a thing that I've used often and something that I think that you guys would benefit if you have a large enough scale. Now, my friend Josh Emmerich and his company Teal put together really an exceptional Google Sheet that I'll link down below as well. It gives you 3 different price points and ability to create different packages, and it auto sums at each individual section of pre-production, production, and post, and gives you the ability to build out budgets with pre-baked profit margins for each individual section. At the bottom, you get what your total actual cost is, what the margin is, and what the total cost would be. And this is really just a fantastic, easy way for you to continue to play around with some numbers and put together packages for your clients. I typically do 3 different price points for my clients when we're working together to give them kind of an idea based off of the criterion that they gave us and the examples that they want to accomplish, but different kind of production levels so that could scale and give them an option that they could choose from so they could see what type of pricing that you could do. Now, here's the thing that I have to be very, very clear about, and please, I want you to do the same thing too. My clients never see a 20% markup on the invoice or estimate itself. I do know certain companies that just blatantly put out that there's a 20% markup on services so that the production company itself can earn money. And they're very forthcoming about that. And it's very obvious that that's what's going on there. And if that's what you want to do, great. I personally don't like to showcase that, at least at this point. And so my margins for pre-production, post, and production are baked into that particular cost. And the only thing the client sees in terms of invoicing and or pricing is the total sum, either completely, all of those things summed together, or if they want to see it broken out, they'll see a pre-production, production, and post-production line item in the budget with profit margin already baked into that product. And my last little bit that I've talked about before, but I think that it bears repeating, is that your clients want you to be successful. They want you to be profitable. They want you to have a business that lasts, because if you serve them well enough, they're going to continue to come back to you, and they want to continue to expand on the great client experience that you had. And if you're not really seeing that and your clients are pushing back on you tremendously where your budgets are concerned, you either A, don't have the right clients and you need to fire your bad clients, or B, you don't have the right type of work that can justify the budgets that you are asking for to give psychological security to your clients so that they feel comfortable paying the prices that you're asking. But that is not what this video is about. That is what the next video is about. And so with that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you liked the video, like the damn video, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, because I don't know what you're talking about if you don't think that this thing gave you some type of value. If I don't see you in the past year, I'll see you in the future. Ring that bell for posting notifications. And ladies and germs, this is Robert Teegarden with another video on the cam. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Peace.